Finally got to watch Sister Wives season 17, episode 8. I think it's called Hang On With Me. I want to talk about this episode with you. It was like kind of a sad episode. There's a lot that happened, but most interesting to me, I feel like there are some big, I think I'm using this word right. There are some like analogies that I want to discuss with you that showed up in this episode. So like, let's go through it. Okay, the first analogy showed up to me in one of the first scenes. In the very beginning, or one of the first segments. In the beginning, we see Kody and Christine talking about basically divvying up the stuff that they own. Kody needs to take his stuff. Christine's basically, she don't want to take any of it because she says, you know, it's not, she doesn't want to take it. And I think we all understand that. She wants to start fresh. She deserves that. So Christine shares that basically Kody has 4 of everything. And we get the hint that it's too much stuff for him to manage. If Christine did not take the initiative to like bag it up, box it up, put it in her garage, then she doesn't believe that Kody would ever come to pick up his stuff. Do you see how this is like an analogy for their whole family dynamic? Kody has too much stuff. Kody has too many wives. Kody has too many children. And he doesn't have the interest, the energy. I don't know what it is. But he's lacking something that would allow him to manage all this. He cannot manage all this stuff. Because now that the stuff in Christine's house is kind of requiring some extra effort, he gets resentful, he gets upset and defensive, and he doesn't want to deal with it. So who does the work fall on? Who has to pick up the slack? Christine. You already know that. It was Christine. So Christine does the work of packing up all of his stuff in her house, finding boxes, putting it in boxes, labeling it clearly, and then bringing it out to the garage. She has to do all the work, and Kody reaps the benefit of it. That was just such a good analogy to open up the episode with, because it was like, we just see how clearly Kody is unable, I guess, or unwilling to deal with this situation that he has created. No one told him he had to have 4 wives, right? There are people in their church who don't have 4 wives, but he said he wanted to do it, but he wasn't willing to do the work to maintain it. He depended on his wives to fill in that effort, and that was clearly unsustainable. The second analogy now, and you can tell me if you think I'm going too far with this, but when I saw this scene, I was like, this is an analogy. This is representative of something bigger than just the moment we're watching. Okay, so in one of the next segments, we see Kody go over to Janelle's RV. And Kody basically says that living in the RV is annoying to him, and that every day, basically, Janelle wakes up, there's another problem she has to figure out how to solve, and like, you know, it's just a lot of work. It's like a lot of constant work. In Janelle's confessional thing, she also admits that it's hard to live in the RV, and there's a lot of struggles that go along with it. Her daughter, Savannah, doesn't necessarily enjoy it, but that Janelle is willing to do it because of the possibility of building on Coyote Pass sooner because of her living there. Do you see how this is like an analogy for their life, for Janelle's life? Really, all of them. The constant struggle, the daily struggle of just stuff that they don't have to struggle with. They don't have to struggle with this stuff, but they're doing it because of the, I would say the promise. They believe it's a promise, I guess. I don't think it's a promise, but they think it's a promise that if they struggle through this polygamous marriage, if they struggle with these weird relationships that they have, then they're going to reap the benefits of a celestial kingdom in heaven. And it's like, it's just how that scene showed up for me, is that Janelle is struggling through these daily tasks that she doesn't have to struggle through these, but she's doing it because she believes there's the promise of building on Coyote Pass in the future. But we already know, because the show is so far behind reality, we know in real life, they have never built anything on Coyote Pass. And she struggled through that for no reason. I feel bad for her. I do feel bad for her. I do. But to me, that was just a great representation of like They are going through this really difficult struggle life for the possibility of building a celestial kingdom in the future. I don't think that's how it works, and I feel for them. I do. The third point I want to bring up is not so much an analogy, but you cannot talk about this episode without talking about the conversation that Robyn and Mary had. Oh, do you see my face? I'm not interested. I won't say I don't like them, but it's not easy to watch them. I'll say that. They bring a lot of sadness and just down energy. So Mary is sitting on the front porch. Robyn pulls up in her car, and it's just a downer. Immediately the conversation is pretty down. To me though, the big takeaway is Robyn's manipulation, just master manipulation. Amazing. Like in the worst way. Basically, we see Robyn and Mary talking about their family falling apart, and Robyn says to Mary, and this is like the title of the episode, she says, just hang on with me. Just hang on with me. Let's rebuild. And she really kind of hypes up Mary and says, basically, I appreciate that you're not just thinking about yourself. You are thinking about the family, and you realize that your decisions are a part. It's not just you and Kody in this. It's you and all of us together. And to me, she's really laying it on thick to Mary that the godly thing to do, the right thing to do is to be here. And I see that you're doing that. And I love that you're doing that. And it's just laying it on thick for Mary. Wow. That's heavy, right? And then she goes into her confessional thing, her interview, and says, basically, I would understand if Mary left. She's not getting anything out of being here. What? Why doesn't she say that to Mary? Why doesn't she tell Mary, I know that your relationship with Kody is hard, and it's been hard for a long time, and you deserve happiness. And Robyn doesn't have to define happiness for Mary. Mary's a grown-up. She can choose what that is, but she could definitely support her and demonstrate to her that Mary's happiness matters, Anyway, we could talk all day about this. We could, but life, as I've said before, life doesn't stop for the sister wives. It's actually a half day here. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to go pick up my kids. We're going to eat lunch. It's almost 70 degrees here. I live in Illinois. It's not usually 70 degrees in November. So we're going to be outside enjoying our day. I hope that you also get to enjoy your day. Before you do that, though, let me know, what did you think about this episode? What did you think? What really stood out to you? And what do you think about these analogies that I pointed out? Do you agree that they're are representative of something bigger going on with the Brown family? Or are analogies and all that kind of stuff just not your thing? I understand, because sometimes they're really not my thing either. All right. Either way, though, we are going to meet here again next week. It looks like Christine's house is finally going to sell. They're going to show us that. And then I hope to goodness she's out of there soon. And maybe, I never thought about this, that maybe in this season we'll get to see a little bit of her life in Utah. I would like that. That would add some joy and happiness, I hope, to this season. And I think as viewers, we deserve that. All right. So in the meantime, take care. We will talk again. Bye.